Vanakkam students, in this video we are going to see Unit 10. Unit name is Matter Around Us. Objective of this session is types of mixture and separation of mixture. Now let us start with types of mixture. Before that, we will just recall about what is meant by mixture. A mixture is a pure substance and it consists of two or more kinds of elements or compounds or both physically mixed together in any ratio. So a mixture is a combination of two or more kinds of elements or compounds or both physically mixed together in any ratio. So that mixture was divided into two types. One is homogeneous mixture, another one is heterogeneous mixture. So mixture was classified into two types. One is homogeneous mixture, another one is heterogeneous mixture. In homogeneous mixture, it is classified into two types. One is true solution and another one is alloys. In homogeneous, the classification is true solution and another one is alloys. Similarly, in heterogeneous mixture, it is classified into two types. One is suspension and another one is colloids. One is suspension and another one is colloids. So let us see one by one what is meant by homogeneous mixture and what is meant by heterogeneous mixture. So in this picture we have tea. How do make tea? By adding milk, tea leaves, sugar, water and etc. So you add more than one kind of particles and hence you form tea. But when the final product is ready, you see that you were not able to distinguish the tea leaves from water or milk. So it looks same throughout or it is homogeneous. That is it as same composition throughout mass. It has same composition throughout mass. That mixture is said to be an homogeneous mixture. A mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately. That mixture is said to be an homogeneous mixture. So in this example, that is tea example, we have different kinds of particles, but after the preparation of tea we cannot able to distinguish the each particle, that is tea leaves or water or sugar or milk, etc. So uniform distribution is said to be an homogeneous mixture. A mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately or distributed uniformly is called as an homogeneous mixture. In this picture, we have two different examples. One is vegetable salad, another one is oil in water. When you prepare salad, you may add different vegetables in different parts clearly. You are able to make out the difference in different proportion. So let us move on to the next example. Similarly, for this substance, you were able to make out the difference when there is oil dissolved in water. You are able to observe more of oil in one part and more of water in another part. Such substance in which there is no constant composition. Substance in which there is no constant composition or they have different composition throughout their masses, such substance are called as an heterogeneous mixture. Listen, when a substance in which there is no constant composition or they have different composition throughout their masses, such substance are called as an heterogeneous mixture. So what does mean by heterogeneous mixture? A mixture in which the components can be seen separately or which has different proportion and different constituents. That substance are called as an heterogeneous mixture. Topic is separation of mixture. So many mixture contains useful substance with unwanted materials. In mixture it has useful substance and also it has unwanted materials. So in order to obtain these substances as useful, for that chemists often have to separate them from their impurities. Chemists often separate from their impurities. So they choose a particular method to separate components of a mixture. They will choose a particular method to separate the components of a mixture. That will be depend on the properties of that components. That will be depends on the properties of that components and the mixture as well as their physical properties. So that will depend on their properties of their components as well as on their physical states. So in this we have given few examples for separation method. So first let us see one by one. First one is sublimation, centrifugation, solvent extraction, simple distillation, fractional distillation, and last one is chromatography. So let us start with sublimation. In sublimation, when the solid substance is heated, that substance is directly changes its state to gaseous state. When the solid substance is heated, changes directly from solid to gaseous state without changing into liquid state. Without changing into liquid state. Now we are going to take a solid substance. That substance is going to be heated. Then that solid substance is going to be changes into gaseous state without changing into liquid state. That substance when we cooled, then it will give back to the solid state. So this is a vice versa process. When we heat, solid is changes into gaseous state. When we cool, gaseous state is changes into solid state. So this process is known as sublimation. So this process is known as sublimation. When the solid substance is heated, it changes directly from solid to gaseous state without changing into liquid. When we cooled that substance, it is a vice versa, that gaseous state is changes into solid state. So this process is known as sublimation. For example, iodine, camphor, ammonium chloride, etc. So camphor is the best example. That is a day-to-day life example. When we burn a camphor, it is a solid substance. It directly changes into gaseous state. So this is the figure for sublimation. Let us see an experiment how to separate an impurities and useful materials. So now we are going to take a powdered mixture of ammonium chloride and the sand is taken in a china dish. So first material is mixture of ammonium chloride which is in powder, and the sand is also going to be taken in a china dish, and it was covered with the asbestos sheet. It was covered with the asbestos sheet, which means it is a thin rigid sheet, and a funnel is, that is inverted funnel is placed over that sheet. So first we are going to take mixture of ammonium chloride and a sand is also taken in a china dish, and it was covered with a sheet, and the inverted funnel is placed over that sheet. Then the open end of the funnel is closed using the cotton wool. So the open end of the funnel is closed with the cotton wool. and the china dish is going to be heated. So now going to be heat the china dish. Then that the pure vapor of the volatile solid passes the holes in the sheet and condense on the inner side of the funnel. So when we heated, the pure volatile solid passes through the holes. That solid substance is going to be passes through that sheet, and in the inner, and it will condense on the inner side of the funnel. The substance will condense on the inner side of the funnel. Then the non-volatile impurities remain in the china dish. So the useful substance is deposited on the inner side of the funnel, and the impurities is deposited on the china dish. So this is the one method to separate an impurities from the mixture. So this is the process of sublimation. Next method is centrifugation. So it is a process by which fine insoluble solids of mixture can be separated in a machine called a centrifuge. So centrifugation is a process by which fine insoluble, that is minute insoluble solids mixture can be separated by a machine called centrifuge. A centrifuge rotates at a very high speed. That machine which used to rotate at a very high speed, on being rotated by centrifugal force, on being their rotation, the heavier solid particles move down. The heavier solid particles move down and the lighter liquid remains at the top. So on being the rotation, the heavier solid particles moves down, that is at the bottom of that machine, and only the lighter liquid remains at the top of the machine. So centrifugation is the process by which fine insoluble solids of a mixture can be separated in a machine called centrifuge, and it rotates at a very high speed. On being rotated, the centrifugal force, that it remains heavier solid particles moves down, and the liquid, that is lighter liquid substance, remains at the top. So in centrifugation, where it is used? In milk dairies and in washing machine and in laboratories. So let us see one by one. First, in milk dairies, centrifugation is used to separate cream from milk. So centrifugation in milk dairies, centrifugation is used to separate cream from milk. In washing machine, the principle, that is the centrifugation principle, is used to squeeze out water from wet cloths, which is used in washing machine. It is used to squeeze out water from wet cloths. And last one is, it is also used in the laboratories to separate blood cells from a blood sample. In laboratories, which is used to separate blood cells from a blood sample. So centrifugation is a process by which fine insoluble solids of mixture can be separated in a machine called centrifuge. It rotates at a very high speed, and during its rotation, the heavier solid particles moves down and the lighter liquid remains at the top. And in dairy process, centrifugation is which is used to separate cream from milk. In washing machines, which is used to squeeze out from the water from wet cloths, and in laboratories to separate cells from a blood sample. So these are the places where the centrifugation principle is applied. Next separation method is solvent extraction. So in this, two immiscible liquids can be separated by solvent extraction method. So two immiscible liquids can be separated by solvent extraction method. Immiscible means it does not form a homogeneous mixture. That is, the two liquids will not combine together. So immiscible liquid means that not form a homogeneous mixture. So solvent extraction method which able to separate the two immiscible liquids. So this method works on the principle of difference in solubility of two immiscible liquids. So the principle of solvent extraction is difference in solubility of two immiscible liquids in suitable solvent. Two immiscible liquids in suitable solvent. For example, let us take water and oil, that is mixture of water and oil. that can be separated using a separating funnel, and the solvent extraction method is used in the pharmaceutical and petroleum industries. So what are the, for example, immiscible liquids, for example oil and water, so that can be separated by a separating funnel, and this solvent extraction method is used in pharmaceutical and petroleum industries. So solvent extraction means which is used to separate two immiscible liquids, and the principle of solvent extraction is difference in solubility of two immiscible liquids in a suitable solvent. For that only example is mixture of water and oil, that can be separated by a separating funnel, and the solvent extraction method is used in pharmaceutical and petroleum industries. Next one is simple distillation. So in this we should know what is meant by distillation process. So it is a process of obtaining pure liquid from a solution. So in distillation it is a process which obtain a pure liquid from a solution, and actually it is a combination of evaporation and condensation. So distillation is a combination of evaporation and condensation. So distillation is a process of obtaining a pure liquid from a solution, and it is combination of evaporation and condensation. So in this method, when the solution is heated in order to vaporize the liquid, so in this method a solution is heated to vaporize the liquid, the vapor of that liquid on cooling it will condense into pure liquid. So when we heat a solution, it will changes into liquid, that is vaporize the liquid, then the vapor of the liquid on cooling it will condense into a pure liquid. For example, let us take a seawater. So we know in many countries seawater is converted into drinking water by the method of distillation. So in this method it is also used to separate two liquids whose boiling point is differ more than 25 Kelvin. So in this method, which is used to separate two liquids whose boiling point is differ more than 25 Kelvin. So let us see the experiment for distillation method. Now we are going to take a distillation flask is fixed with a water condenser. So in this picture you can able to see this distillation flask is fixed with a water condenser, and a thermometer is introduced into the distillation flask, and also a thermometer is introduced into the distillation flask through an 1-volt stopper. Thermometer is introduced into an distillation flask through a 1-volt stopper, and the bulb of the thermometer should be slightly below to the side tube, and the bulb of the thermometer should be slight below to the side tube. Next one is the seawater to be distilled is taken in the distillation flask. Now we are going to take a seawater which has to be distilled in the distillation flask, and after getting a seawater, heat the and boil it for some times. Now we are going to heat for boiling the seawater. When we started to heat, the pure water vapors passes through the inner tube of the condenser. On heating, the pure water vapor passes through the inner tube of the condenser, and the vapors on cooling condense into pure water, that is it is distilled, and which were collected in a receiver. After passing the water vapor, it was collected in a receiver. Then the salt are left behind in the flask as a residue, and the last, after the passing of water vapor, the salt were kept in the flask as a residue. So these were the one important separation method which were used in many countries and day-to-day life also. So for best example is the seawater is converted into drinking water. Next one is fractional distillation. It is a process which used to separate two or more miscible liquids. So fractional distillation is a process which used to separate two or more miscible liquids. Miscible liquids means it is in homogeneous mixture and which do not differ much in their boiling points. Fractional distillation do not differ much in their boiling points. And fractional distillation is used in petrochemical industries to obtain different fractions of petroleum, which were used in petrochemical industries to obtain different fractions of petroleum and which used to separate the different gases from air and to distill alcohols, etc. So this is about the fractional distillation. First, fractional distillation, which is used to separate two or more miscible liquids and which do not differ much in their boiling points and which is used in the petrochemical industries to obtain a different fractions of petroleum and to separate the different gases from air and to distill alcohols, etc. So this is the figure for fractional distillation. Last separation is chromatography. Before entering into the chromatography topic, let us see the two important terms in chromatography. One is absorption and another one is adsorption. Absorption means ABSORPTION. Adsorption means the spelling is ADSORPTION. Only B and D is varied. So let us see the two important terms. One is absorption and another one is adsorption. So before entering into the definition, let us start with example. So now we are going to take a chalk stick which is going to be dipped in a ink. So take a chalk stick which is going to be dipped in a ink. The surface retains the color of the ink due to adsorption. So after dipping the chalk stick into the ink, the surface retains the blue color, that is the ink color. So the surface retains the color of the ink. That process is said to be an adsorption. And after that, a colored molecules while the solvent of the ink goes deeper into the chalk piece. So after the color changing also, if we keep it for some time, it will absorb deeper into the chalk piece. That process is due to absorption. So these are the absorption and adsorption method. So the term, the process adsorption means it is a process in which the particles of a substance is concentrated only at the surface of another substance. So in adsorption, the particles of a substance is concentrated only at the surface. For example, when we keep a chalk piece in an ink, it will absorb that ink and the color of is changes on the surface only. After keeping a long time only, that ink is absorbed deeper to the chalk piece. That absorption, that deeper absorption is due to the absorption. So the term absorption means it is a process in which the substance is uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of another substance. That bulk means chalk piece. So it is uniformly distributed. That blue color was distributed uniformly, that is throughout the chalk piece. The substance is bulk of another substance. So this is the definition of adsorption and absorption. So adsorption means it is a process in which the particles of a substance is concentrated only at the surface of another substance. The term absorption, AB, means it is a process in which the substance is uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of another substance. The best example for adsorption and absorption is chalk stick is dipped in the ink. So only the surface was absorbing, then the color was changes as an ink color, means then that process is said to be an adsorption. After changing it, that is after leaving for some time, that ink goes deeper into the chalk stick. That is due to the absorption. So hence on breaking the chalk stick, it is found to be white from inside. So after that also, when we break a chalk stick, it will be fine white from the inside. So let us move on to the topic chromatography. Chromatography is also a separation technique. It is also a separation technique which is used to separate different components of a mixture. Chromatography which is used to separate a different component of a mixture which were based on their different solubilities in the same solvent. Which were based on their different solubilities in the same solvent. So it is also a separation technique, and which is used to separate different components of a mixture based on their different solubilities in the same solvent. And there are several types of chromatography based on the basic principles. So we have several types of chromatography based on their basic principles, and one of the simplest type of chromatography is paper chromatography, and the simplest type of chromatography is paper chromatography. So let us see what is meant by paper chromatography. So in chromatography, that is paper chromatography method, which is used to separate the different color dyes in a sample of ink. So in paper chromatography method, which is used to separate the different color dyes in a sample of ink. So we are going to take a sample is ink. So it is a method which used to separate the different color dyes in the sample of ink. Now we are going to take a spot of ink. That ink color is black in color. So take a spot of ink and which were put on the piece of chromatography paper. That black ink were put on the piece of chromatography paper, and this paper was set in a suitable solvent. The solvent is whatever may be. So this paper was set in a suitable solvent. Which paper? The spot of black ink paper, that is which were put in a chromatography paper. That paper was put in a solvent, and after that the black ink separates into color dyes. After putting into the solvent, the black ink separate into color dyes. When the solvent moves upper to the paper, the dyes, that is the colors, are carried with it and begin to separate. When the solvent moves upper to the paper, the colors are carried with it and begin to separate. So this is, you can able to see in this picture. First image represents a spot of, that is a black ink is put on the piece of paper of chromatography which were dipped in a solvent. After that the solvent is moving up and observing that solvent, the color, the different color you can be observed in the third picture. So when they separate, because they have different solubilities in the solvent, they separate because they have different solubility in the solvent and are absorbed to different extents by the chromatography paper. So they can be separate because they have different solubility in the solvent and are absorbed to different extents by the chromatography paper. So the chromatogram shows the black ink contains 3 dyes. So in this, the chromatogram shows that black ink contains 3 dyes. So in paper chromatography, it is a method which is used to separate different color dyes in a sample of ink. And let us take an experiment, that is take a spot of ink that which is in black color, put it on the piece of chromatography paper. After that this paper was kept in a solvent and the black ink separates into different dyes and the solvent is moving up to the paper. Then the dyes are carried with it and begin to separate into different colors. They were separate because they have different solubility in the solvent and also absorbed to different extents by the chromatography paper. So in this, the chromatogram shows that the black ink color contains 3 dyes. So black ink contains 3 dyes. This is about the paper chromatography. Let us end this session with question part. First question is differentiate between absorption and adsorption. Differentiate between absorption and adsorption. Second one is define sublimation. And last one is how are homogeneous solution different from heterogeneous solution? Explain with examples. How are homogeneous solution different from heterogeneous solution? Explain with example. So in this session we have discussed about the types of mixture. In types of mixture, what is mean by homogeneous mixture and what is mean by heterogeneous mixture. After that, separation of mixture. In separation of mixture we have seen many separation method, that is one is sublimation and second one is centrifugation and third one is solvent extraction and next one is simple distillation and fractional distillation and last separation is chromatography. In that paper chromatography we have seen.